Rieckhoff is the founder and executive director of Iraq and Afghanistan Vets of America and hosts the podcast Angry Americans. Paul, thank you for joining us. So during the election night, I'm watching the returns come in. I happen to be sitting with a group of Navy SEALs. They were all very, very much pro-Trump. I don't think there was one who was rooting for Vice President Biden the whole night. The military is a pro-Trump group. Are they, and are you not?
I don't think it's that simple. I think that the military is not a monolith, and they're a reflection of this country. So I think they're as diverse as the 50 states in the union. You've got folks who are Republicans, Democrats, and everything in between. Traditionally, the Republicans have done better among the active duty, but Trump's support, according to the latest Military Times poll, has been falling.
From what, Paul? Paul, I mean, I'm not trying to listen. By the way, I thank you for your service, but falling from what? I generally think the military favors Trump in this race.
Yeah, I mean, just over 50%, and it's gone down over the last couple of months. You know, after the incidents with the Russian bounties, after the attacks on John McCain, after conflicts with General Mattis and other high-ranking military officials, the reality is it's been dropping. Now that may change on election day. It's traditionally been a stronghold, but they're definitely not a monolith, and you've seen that in the elections. You've got Democrats and Republicans running on both sides. Over 200 folks are running in congressional and Senate races across the country from both parties who served in the military. So we think they can be a unifier. I think that's an important point here. No matter who wins this election, I think veterans are going to be key to bring this country together and to find ways to bring them forward. You
know, we're fortunate to have the veterans and yourself, and we thank them countlessly. I wear a flag pin. I respect that pin because I respect the country, I respect the flag, and I respect our military. President Trump seems to be the guy who respects the flag, too. I mean, he's literally talked about putting someone in prison if you burn the flag, putting him in prison for up to a year. He defends the flag against the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball when they're kneeling, disrespecting the flag. Does that strike a tone with you at all?
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. I mean, I think everybody supports the flag. Everybody supports this country. I don't think any party or any candidate owns the flag, owns the military, owns our national defense. I don't think either party or President Trump should take the military vote for granted. I think both parties got to work for it. And what I've seen, honestly, Eric, is that veterans in the military are increasingly independent and unaffiliated. That's a lot of what I focus on in my podcast. People who feel like both political parties have abandoned them. They want to see people put country first and party second. And I think especially with this divisive election, you're going to see more and more veterans unaffiliated, abandoning parties and looking for folks who are going to clearly put country first, not just the cloth, but also our values, and making sure that they can bring people together and defend against our enemies. I think it's important for people to remember our enemies love seeing this division. They love seeing this conflict. And whether Trump or Biden win, they got to bring people together because Putin, North Korea, the Iranians, China, they love seeing Americans fight. And the more that happens, the weaker we are.
No doubt. And they are existential threats to us. But then you look at President Trump, who has spent the money to refurbish a lot of the equipment, a lot of the ammunition. He's the one who's spending for the military. Typically, Democrats don't necessarily put the military and defense spending on a higher hierarchy than they do some of the other social programs.
Well, the reality is defense spending has increased no matter who's been in charge, really, since 9/11, and at astronomical rates. So Congress has got to pass it. The president's going to push for it. Trump definitely talks a lot about defense spending. There's a fallacy out there that we didn't have ammunition. That's just untrue. I know Trump likes to talk about that a lot, but you got to poke a hole in that one and recognize our military has ammunition. They're strong. They're holding the line right now. The National Guard is being deployed around the country. And if we talk about counting votes, I think it's really important to remember one thing. In the last election, 250,000 active duty military voted by mail out of 1 million veterans. So at a million active duty.
Okay.
So as these votes are counted, remember, those are tens of thousands of folks that are serving in Afghanistan and around the country right now. No matter what party or candidate you vote for, count those votes and recognize their voices.
Yeah, you and I don't see eye to eye on some of these things with regards to left and right, but we will tell you, we do thank you for your service. Paul Rieckhoff, everybody.
Appreciate you, Eric. Thank you.